In today's video, guys, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a simple and amazing gold scalping strategy that you guys can use to crush gold almost every single time, because a lot of people actually ignore this scalping gold strategy that I'm about to share with you guys. So without further ado, let's get this video started. Before I get into today's video, guys, first of all, I really want to apologize for my voice. I actually have the sinus infection right now, so I just want to apologize for the change in my voice. Excuse me, guys. And I just decided to really make this video and put this video out there for you guys. So now, using this gold scalping strategy, I really do not understand why a lot of traders, especially new traders, beginners, actually keep ignoring supply and demand. I still can't get it. Now, I'm not knocking down support and resistance. I still use support and resistance myself. It's just that I really believe that supply and demand is absolutely the best way to trade in the forex market. There is no other strategy out there. In my own opinion, supply and demand is the best strategy because it gives you snapper entries, early entries, and supply and demand is actually how the banks trade. So why not just trade exactly like the banks? So that's the strategy that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video today. And I'm telling you guys, you can simply use this strategy to crush gold almost every single time that you guys come to the market and you're trying to scalp, and I'll be sharing that with you guys in this video. Now we're going to be looking at this strategy on the 5-minute time frame. Now you can also use this strategy on the 15-minute time frame as well, but we're going to be using it on the 5-minute time frame. Now, the first thing that I like to do when I come to my office and I take a look at the chart, the first thing I like to do is to go to the 1 hour time frame. Now that we're on the 1 hour time frame, what I want you guys to pay attention to is, so we're going to be looking at this buy. So we're going to be looking at this buy example here, and then we're also going to be looking at this sell example right over here. So we're not going to go too far at all. We have everything that we need here. Now, first thing that I like to do, if we take a look at this buy right over here, now first thing I like to do is, if we look at this to the left hand side, we can see that previously we had our low over here. Previously this was our low over here, and then we're just going to drag this all the way here. So previously we can see that previously this was a high. We had a high over here, price came back and we tested that same zone. We had a low, high became a low over here, high on the left hand side, then a low on the right hand side, and price did the same thing over here, and we tested the same low right over here. Now my goal is to see, I'm actually going to be looking at price to see if price is going to actually break below this zone. Now if price rejects this zone, now I can head back to my 5-minute time frame and let's look for that zone. Now I can head back to my 5-minute time frame. Now when I have my confirmation on the 1 hour time frame, like I just showed you guys, now I know that in this area is a demand zone. Now guess what? Now I'm going to have my entry, I'll have my buy entry right here at this bullish engulfing candle So I'll have my entry right over here, and when I'm scalping gold, I usually like to have my stop loss at around 40 pips. So we're going to have our stop loss at around 40 pips right there. Now for my take profit, now my entry is from my demand zone. Now if I go back to the 1 hour time frame here, now a lot of traders would have just simply, target this high over here to the right hand side. And really, I'm not saying they're actually wrong, they're actually right. But with me, the way I trade, I like to be safe. And I'm actually showing you this strategy to let you see that catching 100 pips, trading 100 pips or more trading gold is actually very possible, is very doable. So now we can simply target the next supply zone or the next high right over here. Now that's definitely the right thing to do, but for me, I like to play it safe, because if we look over here to the left hand side here, looking at the 1 hour time frame, we can see that we previously also had this high over here. We previously also had this high on the left side right over here, as you guys can see right there. So if we drag this all the way to the left hand side here, and we can see here on the right hand side, price retested that same zone right over here. Now that I have that zone there, now I can go to the 5-minute time frame, and now guess what? This is exactly what I'm going to do. Now my goal is to target 100 pips, but guess what? Now I have potential multiple take profits. Now I'll have my first take profit over here. I'll have my first take profit right over here. We're looking at 75 pips right there, and my final take profit is going to be this zone here, and we're looking at about 260 pips, as you guys can see. So I like to trade exactly like this so that I can always play it safe. Now let me go back to the 1 hour time frame and show you that again so you guys can see. What we simply did here was we just decided to also target the previous high, which was over here to the left hand side right over here. That's exactly what we did right over here. And as we can see, even though price eventually broke it, now price came back, we tested that same zone over here before price started pushing back up again, and we eventually had our final take profit. We eventually had our final take profit smashed as well, which was at this we had our entry right over here. So we had our final take profit smash, which was for 260 pips, which was right over here. So this is how you guys use this strategy to get in a buy position. All you simply doing is you getting in from your demand zone, and your ultimate goal is to try and ride that trade all the way to the most previous high or your supply zone, as I showed you guys here on the 1 hour time frame. So this is how you use it to take a buy position. Now let's go back to the 1 hour time frame here, because now we're going to take a look at a sell position. So we're going to take a look at a sell position. So now if we take a look at this sell right over here, now what we need to figure out is, we know we have this high over here, and if we look to the left hand side, we can see why price, we'll be able to see why price actually rejected that zone. Let's see here. I'm just trying to show you guys something real quick, why price rejected that zone there on the 1 hour time frame here. So we know we have excuse me guys, so we know we have this high over here, but if we look back to the left hand side here, so if we look back to the left hand side here, we'll see that over here we had this same zone over here, rejection. Price rejected it over here twice, and if we look back to the left or to the right hand side here, we can see that price did the same thing again here at this same zone here. Now that we have that zone, we can go to the 5-minute time frame, and we can see it clearly why price rejected that same zone. Sometimes you might not be able to find it on the higher time frame, and you can go to a smaller time frame like the 15-minute time frame to potentially see what's going on, why price rejected that same zone, if you're unsure about the rejection on the higher time frame. Excuse me guys. So now we can go to that same zone here on the 5-minute time frame, and now once we here on the 5-minute time frame here, now for your entry, what you're simply waiting for is, if you look here on the 1 hour time frame, so what we're simply waiting for here on the 1 hour time frame here is actually to wait for this red bearish candle, here. That's what we're waiting for us to make sure that this is actually a rejection here for our supply zone. So we can go to the 5-minute time frame here, and once we have that, now once we're on the 5-minute time frame, we just patiently waiting for price. We just patiently waiting here for price to actually be below, to break below this zone over here, and we can have our entry. We'll have our sell entry. We can have our sell entry somewhere over here. And like I told you guys earlier, I always like to target at least 40 pips when I'm scalping gold. So I'll have 40 pips right there, and for my take profit, I could potentially target the previous demand zone. So potentially I would have been expecting price to get to this zone here. So I would have been expecting price to get to this zone here, but like I told you guys earlier, I always like to play it safe. I just don't trade strictly from supply to demand or from demand to supply. I always look and see, do we have any zones before we get to our demand zone, if I'm taking a trade from my supply zone. And here we can see that we had this high over here. So we can see that we had this high over here. Now we will have this zone. We have this zone here, and for me, if I was taking this trade, I actually won't target this zone here. I wouldn't have targeted this zone here, because this was absolutely the zone I would have targeted. I would have targeted this zone here. I would have targeted this zone here, because if we look to the left hand side, we know that resistance here became resistance here. Looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, resistance right there actually became a support right over here. So these are the two zones my take profit target would have been. So if we go back to the 5-minute time frame here, now let's look for that zone. Now we can look for that zone real quick, and I'll show you guys where your entry would have been. I mean your take profit rather. So we would have had, let me make this bigger. So we had our entry right there. So, and guess what? Our first take profit would have been right over here. So our first take profit would have absolutely been right over here, and you're trying to get 100 pips, and just look at that. Just this trade alone is 171 pips. That's it. That's all you need, and you can use this strategy to get you 100 pips almost every single time that you scalp gold. It's a very simple strategy to use. You just have to make sure you look for that zones, look for your potential supply and demand zone. You look for that on the higher time frame. You can use the 1 hour time frame, or you can use the 4 hour time frame, but for me, I prefer to use the 1 hour time frame. So for me, supply and demand is absolutely the best trading strategy you'll ever find, because I like to trade like the banks, I like to trade like the big institutions. Now, I'm not knocking down support and resistance. Obviously, support and resistance is absolutely a very, very good strategy, but in my own opinion, supply and demand is just way far better. So guys, this is exactly how you use this same strategy. So I hope you guys find value in this video, and if you guys want access to my trading community on Discord, the link is going to be down below in the description. So I hope you find value in this video. If you guys found value in this video, give this video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe bell button, and turn on the bell notification so you guys don't miss any of my future videos. God bless you all. Happy New Year's to you guys. God bless you all, and I'll see you guys at the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace and love.